Winners win, son. How do I balance 8 baby mamas, 7 businesses, 104 cars, 7 criminal complaints, houses in 15 countries? I have people emails me saying, my girlfriend left me. And I look at them and I go, duh. F***ing yeah, you're a loser. And it hasn't crossed his mind he's a loser.
You got a bitches snowball. They're all holding on to each other. They're all in a group. There's fucking fake titties and lips and lipstick everywhere. You know?
I don't look for pussy. Pussy comes to me. Girls message me. Girls beg me.
My online activity seems to have waned, which is fine for now, but a lot of important things are happening in the world that people ask my opinions on. And I thought, I don't have time to sit here and have 25 Twitter debates. When I'm on my laptop, I'm doing something more important. I'm in a Zoom meeting with 6 billionaires organizing a global takeover.
Well guys, as you all know at this point, the alpha male universe just never stops, and these men just can never stop just trying to embarrass the living shit out of themselves. So naturally, we are back here once more with the clowns that started all of this fake, tough guy, alpha male horse shit, the good old Tate brothers. And you see, in our past videos, we have been watching Andrew Tate basically going out of his way to start this little apology tour after getting called out for playing a very particular song in a nightclub. And during our last video on this goober, we basically saw him yet again go on another podcast where he did a whole lot of yapping trying to save his image and look good, and where he once again could not help himself but to cope about the fight he lost to a TikToker and tried to explain the reasoning for why he was on his knees in the ring.
Give a shit. And if I lose, someone goes, ha ha ha, you lost. I'll say, ha ha ha, I'm me and you're you.
At least I tried.
At least I tried. You have to roll the dice. Feather in the wind. Sometimes, maybe if we fought the day before or I fought him the day after, I would have beat him. Who knows?
And as you can tell, it was still just a whole lot of crazy cope, and the loss must have really impacted him mentally, because this was multiple months later and he was still bringing it up and talking about it, and trying to play the whole I tried card, even though his entire brand is not about trying but winning, and he has stressed that for the past 5 to 10 years. But it seems that he is now finally starting to overcome that mental hurdle a little bit, and has really just been trying to ramp it the fuck up to save his image as being the supposed top G, because since that little podcast and since my last video, he has been spamming the living shit out of his very own videos and lives, and has even recruited his brother to be out here trying to push the narrative that they're about to make the biggest comeback known to man.
You see, Andrew and I have been working tirelessly, 15 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're smart enough and perspicacious enough, you have seen us in all these various countries. Why are the Tates in Hong Kong? Why are the Tates in Uzbekistan? Why are they in the Bahamas? Why are they in Georgia? Why are they in Turkey? Why might they be going to Russia soon? Why are they in LA? Why are they in Miami? Why are they in New York? The reason is that the mother of all comebacks are coming. Andrew and I are going to be famous and important and influential for other reasons than running our emergency meeting podcast. Andrew and I, within a year or so, should be listed billionaires. Andrew and I should have vindicated and cleared our names entirely, despite the fact that everyone already knows that case that the Romanians tried against me was bullshit. And Andrew and I are going to become far more important in the realms of pop culture and global culture than we ever were before.
So as you can tell, we are really just out here making some insane statements, talking about it being the greatest comeback of all time, and them working 15 to 18 hours a day, and just planning to be billionaires here soon as they become more well-known than ever. And it is quite a lot of talk for a couple of guys who are so concerned about people being mad at them for a song that they felt the need to hop onto any video and any podcast with anybody who had a podcast mic. And what I found really odd was that even though they're apparently doing all of this in the background, for some reason, good old Andrew has constantly and consistently had the time to hop on a live stream every day and just yap about some dumb shit, really prepping for that comeback. So I figured we would take a look at some of these live streams and see what he is doing and saying to position himself for one of the greatest comebacks in human history and to apparently become a billionaire. And these fucking live streams have been all over the place, where we have him a lot of the time just starting out by talking some pure and utter shit and self-glazing to the absolute max. We are talking about levels of self-glaze that put the one and only Wesley Peg Watson to shame.
I don't look for pussy. Pussy comes to me. Girls message me. Girls beg me. I decide. I choose. When I have an opening in my harem, I scroll through the options like a menu and I pick. I don't chase money. Money opportunities come to me because I spend all of my energy focusing on myself. Not only do I train every single day, even this rhetoric, this oration, even me sitting here talking to you, I have rehearsed it. I have practiced it. You cannot even finish a sentence without saying in the only language you speak, English. You sound like a moron. Nobody cares what you have to say. I have more capability than ever before. There is more fire in my blood. I've been drinking fire blood every single morning. I run 7 companies. I sleep 4 hours a night. I do emergency meetings. I travel the world. I've been to 19 countries on over 50 flights so far this year, making millions of dollars on fire blood and cigars and coffee alone. And the entire time I've been attracting beautiful supermodel women and attracting opportunities and attracting money and attracting network and meeting the most powerful people on the planet and just attracting all of it. I'm basically your conduit into the upper class. You know, the high-level A-list, S-tier celebrities, the people who are the main characters of Earth. There's only 20 or so of us, Tate, Trump, Elon. You know, there's a few guys up here, and I'm the only one talking to you. You're welcome.
And I don't even know why goobers are tuning in to watch this shit live, or what they could possibly be getting from it, besides just planning to laugh at his goofy ass the entire time. Because when you're just coming right out of the gate 90% of the time, just starting off by self-glazing about how many bitches you're just out here getting, before then just basically insulting the audience for apparently saying when they're trying to speak, it is just already so damn ridiculous and pure lol-cow behavior. And these are just a few of his many self-glazing moments where he is just verbally trying to suck his own penis. Because anytime he's trying to make a point, or really, just any time in general he gets the chance to talk about himself, he immediately does, where he tries to pretend like he's doing all of this different shit. And it's just really insecure to be constantly trying to remind people that you're apparently only getting 3 hours of sleep, and you're going here and there and doing all this wild shit, but somehow you have time to sit here and yap at your camera the entire time about how you're doing it all, where you're taking multiple minutes out of your day just to do this silly shit. And these are just the beginnings of his little ramblings from his new live streams that he's doing after going on his little apology tour, where when he isn't self-glazing like that, he also takes the opportunity to constantly try to basically talk the audience into hating their own life, where he tries to claim that they have settled for everything when it comes to their cars and their lifestyle, and they even settled for their women, because I guess he just can't fathom the idea that someone might actually just love their wife.
And you realize that none of the things you have you really wanted. It was just the only thing you could catch. You were chasing a Bugatti, but you couldn't afford it. You were chasing a Koenigsegg, but you couldn't afford it. You were chasing a Pagani, but you couldn't afford it. You were chasing a yacht, but you couldn't afford it. You were chasing a mansion, but you couldn't afford it. And the only thing you managed to catch was the sick antelope. You caught a BMW. And you tell everyone, I've always wanted a BMW, I like my BMW, sure. But if you had enough to attract every single car into your car park, you wouldn't choose a BMW. And it's the same with the woman you're with. You don't want her, you want someone else. She's the only one you could catch. You're living a life which is a fraction of what it should be. Ever noticed that once you have a girlfriend, you have a bunch of bitches? Ever crossed your mind? Ever thought about that? You're lonely, you're by yourself, you're watching porn. You suck, you're a loser, nobody likes you, your family hates you. And then you get a girlfriend, some stupid woman is dumb enough to be with you, and all of a sudden they all seem dumb enough, like herd mentality, all the sheep appear, and you get much more. It's the same with basically everything. Same with money, same with aura, same with status. It's the same with knowledge.
So obviously, it's just a straight up yapathon, and it's all already just ridiculous enough on its own, and is just goofy as is. But I wanted to also point out the little whiteboard that he has behind him, and I was thinking that eventually we might get something put on that whiteboard that might be useful. It might just be somehow educational for all of his little followers and fanboys, instead of just listening to him yap on about how great he is or how much he's doing. But I quickly learned over the past couple of live streams that the only thing that he draws on that whiteboard are dollar signs, stick figures, and fucking titties. And this is just a reoccurring thing during the live streams now, where sometimes he's saying that you shouldn't be chasing dollar signs and titties, and you can't chase both and can only chase one.
You're a man. You're here. We have money and titties. You can only chase one. You cannot chase two rabbits. The man who chases two rabbits catches none.
And then on the very next stream, the goober is completely contradicting himself and is listing out the objectives in life that you have as a man. And these objectives basically are just whittled down to you going after money and titties. So in one segment, you can't chase them and you can't catch both. But then in the very next segment, he's talking about how to actually chase them and how to get them. And it's all just so damn goofy because the way he does this is just by drawing a stick figure with an arrow to money and titties. And that's about the best explanation that you end up getting.
So you have objectives in life. And when I talk to you guys, I try and simplify things. I try and simplify it because it's a thought experiment. But the primary objectives for nearly all men are money and pussy. Now you can say purpose, empire, and children. Yes, but that requires money and pussy. So you can say whatever you want to say. I just like getting to the crux of the issue. You need $20 million in your bank. You need 4 or 5 women birthing your children. That's what you need. You can come up with any other bullshit reason for why you want to call it something else. That's what you need, money and pussy. So, your primary objectives are those two things. But drawing a pussy is vulgar. So I, because I'm a nice man and I want to come across as family friendly, PG-13, I draw titties. Money and titties. That's you, and you're trying to get to the money, the dollar sign, and the titties.
And yeah, so apparently your only life goals is basically to get money and pussy, or aka titties in this one. And he's really giving you a strong visual demonstration of that. And he follows this up by then drawing an opposite arrow and labeling it as friction, which is everything keeping you from getting to the money and the titties. And his solution for how to deal with that friction basically ends up narrowing down into having aura and apparently being smooth. So we're really getting some billionaire life-changing advice right here, and you can really see how this man is planning on making his comeback, which is just by continuing to be a lolcow apparently.
So it is your objective to get to the money, to get to the titties, and there's friction coming across the opposite direction. Let me ask you all a question. Please type in the chat. If you're trying to remove friction, do you want to be a rough surface or a smooth surface? Why am I asking for the answer? We know the answer. Smooth. Ships are smooth. Dolphins are smooth as they go through the water. Planes are smooth as they fly through the air. You want to be as smooth as possible to remove friction on your journey to your objectives. So how do you become smooth? You become smooth by ensuring you interface with the world in the way that the world perceives you. The reason some men have aura, the reason some men are seen as smooth or cool or charming or funny, the reason they have these things is because they interface with the world the way they know the world perceives them.
And it's just a whole lot of horse shit, where the entire premise is literally him just yapping to buy time, and to basically waste time at this point, where he's just trying to look like a badass, and is just looking for his next moment to basically self-glaze. Because after this, he ends up getting a super chat, which I don't know why some fucking moron was dumb enough to donate to him, but instead of giving the guy an answer, or instead of helping him in any way, he just hits him with a winner's win, son, before then talking about how he balances all of his different problems, and basically just starts dumping all of his different problems on the guy.
We have a super chat here. Let me read it. Hi, Andrew. I'm in the real world trying to balance work, my 9 to 5, training for my first MMA fight, and the relationship with my girlfriend who spends lots of time with me. How do I balance all of this? Winners win, son. How do I balance 8 baby mamas, 7 businesses, 104 cars, 7 criminal complaints, houses in 15 countries? Welcome to life. Life as a man ain't easy. You're complaining about a little bit of training, working hard, and seeing your girlfriend. Welcome to life, sir. It is never going to get any easier, ever. The more successful you become, the more you have to deal with. So get used to it.
And afterwards, without giving the guy advice on good ways to balance it, he then proceeds to continue to go on his tangent about pursuing money and titties, where he brings up some instance where some girl left their man, and how he would be the one who was actually taking the girl, and wouldn't be the one losing her. Like, the little live stream is actually just all over the fucking place.
This is the reality, right? So a lot of you are out here losing to baddies. You're out here going, this beautiful Spanish girl ran off with a footballer. That poor dude lost his chick. He was dedicated to her, and she just got a DM on Instagram and bounced on him. Men like me, we sit there and go, yep, I'm the footballer. Do you understand? I'm that guy. I'm the guy who takes. I always have been. Ain't a single female alive I can't take from anyone I want. That's the best possible life. And you're only going to get that. You're only going to be in the first position if you can beat the people in the second position. And the second position are baddies. And baddies affect the simulation with one weapon, manipulation. So you need to beat them at their own game by using manipulation coupled with brute force. That gives you more weapons in your arsenal. Now with brute force plus manipulation, you become top tier and live the best possible human life.
And the only reason I think that he involved this segment was so that he got the opportunity to talk about how he was the footballer and he was the guy just out here taking people's women. And after this, he then proceeds to continue to speak about how you need to be able to manipulate people, and that's how you get to the top, by combining manipulation with brute force, and basically just promoting for people to be a piece of shit, before then just ending the stream. And this is how all of these different streams have been, where I swear it's just showing up to watch him talk about himself, and to basically watch him pretend to be like the baddest man on the planet. So this is how I guess he's mounting his new comeback, where the only thing he can do at this point is to pretend to be this badass alpha male, and hopefully people will start to believe it again if he just copes with it hard enough and bullshits hard enough. But with that said, that's enough of these clowns for one day. So if you enjoyed, please drop a sub and a like and join the Saints Mafia, where we are flaming all of the grifting alpha males. And I'm out, watching Andrew Tate and his brother continue to cope and take L's. In peace.
People always say to me, Andrew, why do you have so many kids by so many women? Because women are slow, bro. I wish women grew a baby in a week. It'd be easier for me. Do you think I like paying for 8 households, 8 houses, 8 Bentleys, 8 nannies, 8 security teams, all these houses for all these fucking women to have all these kids? That pisses me off. I'd love to have one house with a baby machine. But these fucking women take 9 entire months to grow a single baby. And then they're like, I just had a baby. I need to recover. Fucking recover.